I adore Fooly Cooly Alternative. We're a third of the way through the series, and what I've seen so far is pretty encouraging. This go around, we follow Gal Pal Gang, Kana, Hijiri, Mosan, and Pets in the home stretch of their high school careers. Alternative, from the get-go, takes a different tone than its predecessors in depicting how these girls grapple with their approaching adulthood. Where Season 1 and 2 started off with themes of isolation and dejection, Kana and crew are actually pretty happy. I'm a sucker for artsy teen life pieces. I don't know why, maybe it's because I missed out on a typical teen experience and these pieces are just vicarious fulfillment, but either way it's encouraging to see these young people grow and mature as individuals. And that's what Alternative comes out of the gate with. The cracked cell phone screen, the doodles in the sky, the after-school job, the gal pals and the fun they poke at each other, and even the bottle rocket that they made and remade on a whim. It all feels earnest and real. So yeah, Alternative is good. I don't think it's ever going to be Season 1 good in most people's eyes, I suppose, but more on that some other time. For those who don't know, or don't remember, it has been 17 years after all. The backbone of what made Season 1 good was the interweaving of two seemingly disparate plot threads. The A plot always provided the characterization and drama, while the B plot brought the spectacle and energy. If we're honest though, the real secret sauce is Gainax themselves. They had a plethora of properties and expertise to draw upon that put this squarely within their wheelbarrow. However, Gainax isn't completely necessary for the type of story that they're trying to tell here. You don't need Evangelion references or Daikon 4 references in order to tell a coming-of-age story. Alternative displays this in spades with the first two episodes. Both revolve heavily around the A-plots that culminate in poignant lessons for the main crew. The first being that you don't get to choose the success of your efforts, but you can choose to pick up the pieces and try again. And the second being that while knowing what makes one grown up can often be confusing, it ultimately comes down to being honest about and with oneself, and not just trying to fake it till you make it with trite trivialities. And best of all is that Alternative does this with what can be seen as rather mundane or even just plain background events from both episodes. A bottle rocket, spicy foods, breaking up, or a policy speech. We may even have a better idea of why Haruko keeps targeting kids. To quote Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, "Don't judge me. Power comes from truth. And there's nothing teenagers and young folks are better at than speaking their minds, unless they're conditioned not to. An earnest and honest young person will have more emotional NL power than any disingenuous adult any day. But while the A plots are fine, the B plots are a little lacking. Maybe this will improve as Alternative progresses in its story, but there's a necessity for production IG to improve the B plots so that they can carry the proper weight, offer the right amount of spectacle, and can be tied together properly with the A plots. As things are right now, Fooly Cooly Alternative is actually in a pretty good place. If production IG plays their cards properly, they may very well be able to make something of Fooly Cooly that rivals Season 1. Now you may wonder, how exactly are they going to do that? I mean, how long can you milk this gravy train, right? Well, I know Japan and anime in general is in love with high school, but life does not end at high school, and most certainly growing up doesn't. You still have college, and you most certainly have young adulthood, once you move out of college and you have to deal with things on your own. That alone right there is 2 more seasons, at least. But I'm not a fool, I know at some point you do have to wrap this up. Stories like this do have a shelf life. There comes a point where you squarely become an adult and you have to grapple with that. If anything, that would be a pretty fitting end to the series as a whole. Finally getting into your 30s and having to grapple with the fact that you are no longer a young person, that you are now an adult, and now that you have to rectify what all of that growing up it was supposed to do for you. But that's all pretty speculative, so I digress. To get back to the topic at hand, Fooly Cooly Alternative. Is the animation good? Well, I don't have much complaint there, except besides maybe that CGI glass scene from the very first episode. Please don't ever do any more CGI glass. Is the music good? Of course it's good, it's the fucking Pillows, why wouldn't it be good? Kana and her crew are actually pretty good characters. Haruko this time around is closer to her Season 1 incarnation. She's more of a chaotic, neutral presence in the story. popping in whenever she wants to, causing mischief for unknown reasons, and generally cleaning up her mess by the end of the episode. She's not as transparently manipulative as she was in Season 2. This gives Haruko the freedom and flexibility to be deep and nurturing one minute and hopelessly reckless the next, unlike her Season 2 incarnation that was just all around malevolent. I think I've droned on and on about Fooly Cooly Alternative enough for one video. So if you're curious, just give it a watch. By the time this video drops, it'll most likely either be airing in a few hours, or it will have already aired on Adult Swim. I still have more stuff to say about Fooly Cooly Alternative, but that's something for a different video. So until then, it's Nekobash, signing off.